I learned a lot about what happens when you don't make the right choice. So
Interesting.
you bring people on board and you both firmly believe that it's a good fit.
Yeah.
And one of my mentors once said, Julianne, if you get it right 50% of the time, you're doing better than most people.
Yeah.
It's that 50% of the time that you're wrong. What you do about it is what separates, great leaders from just mediocre leaders.
And so do you mean just hiring people in selection and then kind of
And
hire and
then
fire
say,
fast, or?
that's right.
Yeah.
And just being okay with, gosh, I brought this person on. I thought they were a rock star. And all of a sudden, like, things aren't really happening the way that we both thought they would. And you've put a lot of yourself into that process and that person, and you feel a connection and an obligation, and you very much want them to be successful. And for whatever reason, it's not the right match.
Yeah.
And having the courage to be able to, follow through on what ultimately is helping them find the right place.
Because they might be in pain too if it's not happening.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then all the people around that person that can see that they're underperforming or not a good fit. So I had really good people early on in my career that held me accountable and helped me hold myself accountable around that. And I think that's been one of the big differentiators when people know me and how I operate. I feel very strongly about building good teams and helping people land in places where they belong.
Yeah. So how would you handle a situation like that? Is it a series of conversations, uncomfortable conversations? Or
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And I do think some leaders shy away from having those conversations.
And there's two sets of conversations. There's one with the employee, and then there's one you have with yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you walk away from having gotten it wrong and you don't take the time to hold up the mirror and say, what did I do or didn't do to contribute to this situation? What could I have done better? Are there different questions I could have asked? Are there different ways I could have supported that person in the organization once they were here?
Did you change then the way you selected folks or the way you brought them up?
Absolutely. We just went through a situation like that where I work now, where we had a person that seemed like a good fit, and that didn't end up being the case. And it was a very, very much of an introspection for me. Yeah. So that was a good time period in a small team with a great boss who was super patient and allowed me to experiment and sort of build that muscle early on in your career. It's a really hard muscle to build.
The people management
the
side.
further along you go.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to just avoid it.